yeah, I'll give you just a minute or so for everyone to get ready on their yoga mat. Again, if you have anything that you would like to kind of use as a prop, it can be a block if you have a block, or like I said, a cushion. It's always nice to, like, for example, when we do a child's pose, if you can like hug a cushion, that's always a little bit nicer. So I'll just give you a little bit of time here to grab that. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and sit on your mat. And starting to come into the space. And then you can close your eyes. Place your hands somewhere comfortable. And just start to check in with the breath. Keep breathing if you can through the nose, and you can exhale through the nose as well. So we'll be doing a Yin Yoga class today. So I'm Alex. I do Vinyasa Yoga, Slow Flow Yoga, and also Yin Yoga. So Yin Yoga is a little bit slower. It's where we have time to kind of slow down and connect a little bit more with our body and our breath. So just checking in and seeing how you feel with your body today. And you can sit cross-legged, or you can put your legs out, whichever feels comfortable for you to sit in. We'll just be sitting here for a few minutes. Keeping your eyes closed if you can, if you feel safe. Allowing the body to sink into the ground, the sit bones, sinking into the mat or the rug. And if you don't have any space for yoga, that's okay. Just follow along as much as you can. So now checking in with the heart and the chest. Again, keeping the eyes closed and seeing what comes up there. What do you feel in your heart, in your chest? What are the sensations? And no matter what comes up, just feel it. You can return back to your affirmation, your intention from the start of the retreat. Or you can make a new one. So on each inhale, fill up the chest and the body, the belly with air. And on the exhale, feel the heart soften a little. How quick are you to judge yourself? Just take a little time to think. Do you already feel uncomfortable? Are you hard on yourself? Just take a few breaths into those questions. Beautiful. A few more breaths here. Inhaling deeply through the nose, and maybe taking a sigh out through the mouth. Inhale. And another sigh out through the mouth. Nice. And then when you're ready, you can slowly start to open up the eyes. And maybe just do a few neck circles just to open up the body. Maybe we've been sitting down quite a lot today, one way, and then the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, just come onto all fours. So we'll do just a few cat and cows as we would in a vinyasa. So you can lower down the toes and bring the hands a little bit more forwards than you usually might, just in front of the shoulders, not below. Inhale to open up the spine, drawing a line with the nose, a little slight back bend. And then exhale, look towards the belly. So just warming up, opening up the spine. Inhale, come back up. Looking in front of you. And then exhale down. Maybe one more. And then back to the center. So we're going to come into our first Yin Yoga pose, and we'll do a Sphinx pose. If you would like to have a cushion or a blanket underneath your chest, that's great. Doesn't have to be a really huge pillow. So you can just put your pillow somewhere, blanket in front of you, and just slowly come down to the ground. And if you have a cushion or a blanket, you can put that just underneath your chest to give you a little bit more space. And then we'll bring the elbows underneath the shoulders or a little bit more in front, whichever feels good for your shoulders. Make sure you're not crunching too much. Nice and straight in the neck. The legs come out behind you. So we're grounding down here in the elbows and the forearms. And then when you're ready, you can soften. So we'll stay here for a few breaths. Make sure you're in a position where you can stay for a few breaths. And if this is a little bit intense, you can always just cross your hands and just come down all the way to the mat. And if not, you can stay here in this Sphinx pose. Keeping the eyes closed if you can, and just taking a few breaths. Release the tension from the shoulders. Breathing into the body, breathing into the pose. And come back to the question, how often do you judge yourself? Yin Yoga is a really great way for us to challenge ourselves just a little bit and control stress, because even if we become a little bit uncomfortable in the pose, we can continue to just stay here for a little bit longer, unless you feel any pain, intense pain, and just come back. So just a few more breaths here in our Sphinx pose. opening up the heart and the chest, bringing in love and kindness. And now you can prepare yourself to come out of the pose, nice and gently, nice and slowly. So come up, bring the hands next to the shoulders and push up nice and gently onto the knees. Bring the knees forwards to a kind of tabletop, and we'll come straight into child's pose to neutralize. So bring the toes together if you can, and then open out your knees wide. If you like, you can use a pillow to get extra comfy, especially if you have this nice polar bear pillow like I have. And from here, open up the chest and slowly lower down into your child's pose, bringing the chest towards the mat. And you can lower down, if you don't have a pillow, that's totally fine. You can just lower down your forehead towards the mat. On each exhale, try and release a little more tension from the hips. Staying here nice and slow, lowering the forehead, feeling the grounding pose. Taking some nice deep breaths. So what would happen if you started to show a little bit more kindness to yourself and to people around you? Allow yourself to be kind and nurturing. Just a few more breaths here. And then slowly, when we're ready to come out of the pose, lift up the head and walk the hands back towards the knees. If you have a cushion or a blanket, you can remove that. And come on to your bum. You can sit cross-legged for just a little bit here. Bring the palms to the chest. And then inhale, open out the arms to the side. Exhale, draw a line down, look down to your feet and hug yourself. Give yourself a nice little hug. Good. Inhale, open up again with the hands. If you like, you can look up, releasing the tension from the shoulders as well. The shoulders remain far from the ears. Exhale, bring the hands again to the opposite shoulder blade for a nice little hug. Inhale, open up. Nice. And then you can release the hands down. We'll slowly come onto our backs. If you would like to get a cushion or a blanket near your arms and slowly lower down. You can keep your knees bent just for a second, lowering down with the back on the mat. Bring the hands to the belly and just move the knees a little from side to side. Nice. And then you can extend your left leg. So extend that left leg, and with the right leg, you can either place it next to it or you can place it on top. So shift the hips a little to the right. So your hips are on the right side of the mat. Left leg is extended and the right ankle can maybe cross over that left leg. We're coming here into a half moon pose. So you can move your shoulder and your head a little to the left side. Imagine you're kind of making a half moon shape or a banana shape with your body. And then the left hand can come on the belly and the right arm can lift up. And again, you can, on the exhale, move that arm a little more over to the left to increase the moon banana shape. If your right arm feels a little bit kind of weird up in the sky, or if you would like to ground down your arm, you can put your cushion or your blanket underneath your elbow. For me, I have really tight shoulders, so I need a cushion here. On each exhale, try and extend that right arm a little more over to the left side. And the head a little more too. So we're really bending into this half moon shape. Breathe here. Staying here in the stillness. If you need to come back, if you need to return your arm, that's okay too. And if you'd like a little bit of a more intense stretch, you can move that arm a little bit further, but you don't have to. Yin Yoga is about really listening to your body and seeing how it feels, slowing down. So when you're ready, slowly return that right arm down and place it on your belly. Remove the right leg from the left and move the hips over to the other side. So moving the hips, shimmy over to the left. Both legs extended, and this time move that right leg over to the right side, so the right corner of the mat. And bring that left leg over the right if you'd like to for the extra stretch in the legs. Kind of like you're just crossing your ankles. Inhale for the left arm to come up overhead. And exhale, that left arm could come over a little more. Move the head towards the right side. So you're moving your shoulders and your head to the right top corner of the mat. If your arm, your elbow, your shoulder comes up a little bit off the mat, go ahead and put a blanket or a cushion underneath that arm. Somewhere that you can be comfortable. So we're here in our half moon on the other side, right hand on the belly. Breathing nice and deeply and gently. You don't need to overdo it with the really long breaths, just whatever feels comfortable. Nice. So we're here in our banana shape. And when you're ready, you can slowly come back. So first, maybe return down the arm. The left arm comes down. And then the left leg releases from the right. Slowly move the hips back to the center of the mat. Bend the knees and bring the knees into the chest. You can move a little from side to side, neutralizing out the spine. Nice. Check in again with your heart, seeing how you're feeling at this moment. Does anything different come up? Can you return back to your affirmation? Can you fill yourself with kindness and love? And then bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And again, move the hips, this time over to the right again. Open the feet out mat width apart. And we'll come into a little bit of a twist. So the hips are over to the right. You can place your hands on your belly. Feet are mat width apart. Knees are bent. And on the exhale, lower down the knees to the left side. And if your knee here feels a little bit vulnerable in the sky, like mine does, you can grab another blanket or something and put it underneath your knee. And for extra comfort, if you like, between your legs, you can put a pillow there. The hands can stay on the belly. And the head can roll over to the right side. If you need to, you can move a little bit of the position of the knees. So if you want to bring them closer upwards to your body for a more intense stretch, you can, or you can lower them down to the bottom of the mat for a little bit of a less intense stretch. Make sure that your shoulders are nice and loose, grounded down on the mat. Feeling this gentle twist. You can keep your eyes closed or you can keep them open. Whichever feels good for you right now. Few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can slowly start to prepare to come out of the pose. So you can remove the cushion if you had one. And we're going to do the same on the other side though. So make sure it's handy. Come back to a neutral spine with the back all on the mat. And then shift over to the opposite side. So move the hips over towards the left. Feet are mat width apart again. And then on the exhale, lower down the knees over to the right side. So your shoulders can be grounded on the mat and your hips, your left hip will be off the mat in our twist. If you would like to support your knee, you can grab that blanket. And if you would like to support your top knee, you can grab a cushion or another blanket. Hands can come onto the belly. Breathing into the hands. Feeling the expansion. How the breath moves in the body. Feeling a gratitude for your body, for yourself, for taking the time to join this retreat, for moving a little bit today, checking in with the body. The head can roll over to the left side for a little neck stretch. Two more breaths here. And then you can slowly bring the knees back up and return your hips back to the center of the mat. Bring the knees into the chest and make any final movements you would like to make before Shavasana. And you can release the legs completely, or you can keep them bent. If you like, you can put your cushion underneath the knees for a nice little comfy Shavasana. Releasing the legs out nice and wide, lifting the hips just a little and then grounding them down again, pushing down the whole body onto the floor, palms facing up. Now you can close your eyes, staying here in Shavasana. With each exhale, release the body a little more into the mat. Slowly let your body relax. Feeling the breath as it comes and goes in your Shavasana. Feeling the breath like waves over the body. And allow yourself to be open, your heart. Allow yourself to be kind. Allow yourself to have an open heart towards others, and most of all, yourself. And just take another minute or so to rest peacefully, knowing that you are loved by yourself and of others. Continue breathing deeply in your Shavasana. And then you can slowly start to bend the knees, move the hands, move the feet, and lower down the knees from side to side. Coming onto one side, the left or the right, and bringing the whole body there for a little safe embryo pose. And then inhaling to push up with the top hand, coming into your seat. Just taking a final few breaths here. Inhale through the nose, and maybe take a nice sigh out through the mouth. One more time, inhale through the nose. Nice big inhale and out through the mouth. Wonderful. Bring the palms to the chest. Inhale and exhale to bow forwards. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. I'd love to know how that was for you. Hoping you're feeling a little more loved and relaxed, hopefully not too relaxed.
Thank you for that, Alex. That was great.